Welcome back. North Korea's latest missile launch was announced with the usual bombast, the sort that has accompanied the announcement of all its military achievements. The Hwasong-15, after all, has only become part of Pyongyang's well-stocked arsenal. Not a lot is known about the Hwasong-15, given that it was test-fired just earlier today. But as per North Korean state media, it has a range of 13,000 kilometers. It's also the North's most powerful weapon yet. Experts believe it could possibly reach Washington. The North's arsenal also includes the Hwasong-14, which was test-fired first in July this year. Pyongyang claimed it was capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. The 14 has a maximum estimated range of 10,400 kilometers and is reportedly capable of carrying a high explosive or nuclear payload. The North also has an intermediate-range ballistic missile, or IRBM, called the Hwasong-12. It's 17.4 meters in length and has an estimated range of 4,500 kilometers, which places the U.S. territory of Guam within striking distance. The Hwasong-10 is another IRBM, but its range is a shade lesser than that of the 12, maxing 3,500 kilometers. Also called the Musudan, the 10 has reportedly failed 7 times out of 8 when it was tested. Pyongyang has also developed a number of long-range rockets. These are ostensibly for delivering satellites to space. But many have called the space program a cover for testing ICBMs. The UNHA-3 is a 3-stage SLV with an estimated range of 10,000 kilometers. Kim Jong-un's arsenal also includes a number of short-range ballistic missiles, or SRBMs. Most of these are based on Soviet Scud-type designs. These are mainly short to medium-range missiles. They're small in size and can be fired from mobile launchers, making them harder to detect. The Nodong or Rodong is a medium-range ballistic missile. It's 16 meters long and has an estimated range of 1,500 kilometers. These can be fired from mobile launchers and are capable of delivering nuclear payloads and high explosives. Among the North's submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBMs, is the Pukukson-G, or the KN-11. It has a range of around 1,200 kilometers. The missile has seen multiple launches since 2015. A land-based variant called the Pukukson-2 was test-fired in February this year. Now, North Korea's missile test overnight shows that they can now target all of the U.S. mainland. But what about other countries? What damage can North Korea do even without nuclear weapons?
North Korea's military has numerical advantage over the south and is deployed close to the demilitarized zone that marks the boundary between the two Koreas. Many experts believe North Korean artillery and rocket forces could level Seoul within hours of outbreak of a conflict. But Seoul is 40 kilometers from the DMZ and can only be reached by the North's longest range artillery pieces. Firing would betray their positions and leave them vulnerable to an attack by the south. Besides, South Korea has a qualitative edge and is of course backed up by the extensive strike power of the US military. But the North has an extensive chemical arsenal, possibly also biological weapons, and is said to have developed a cyber attack capability as well. It's evident that Japan, especially the country's south and the west, is in direct line of a North Korean threat. Pyongyang has short and medium-range ballistic missiles which could hit Fukuoka and Hiroshima. Also, the US itself has many service people posted in both South Korea and Japan. But risking an all-out war with the United States would play to Washington's advantages. North Korea is an isolated and impoverished country. For the regime, the missile program is the ultimate insurance policy. But it would not survive an ensuing conflict. The risk now is of mistake and miscalculation. Bureau Report, WION.
North Korea's missile crossed Japan, flying through international airspace. Now, many are asking the question, can missiles hit a plane packed with ordinary travelers?
It's not the first time that North Korea carried out a missile test without a warning. In September, a passenger who landed at Osaka airport in Japan following a similar missile test tweeted about an announcement on the aircraft. Now, a South Korean airline has said captains of 2 of its passenger planes saw flashes believed to be from North Korea's latest missile launch. Both planes were flying over Japan and reported the sightings to ground control. The planes were headed for South Korea's Incheon airport, one from San Francisco, the other from Los Angeles. Both planes landed safely. There have been incidents like the shooting down of Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 over Ukraine, which means that airlines are aware of the risks of one of their planes getting misidentified in or near contested airspace. But what about the risk to civilian aircraft flying in the area? Just last week, Air China suspended flights between Beijing and North Korea, ostensibly due to lack of demand. Many airlines are changing their flight paths to avoid flying over North Korea or the area between North Korea and Hokkaido. In early August, Air France expanded their no-fly zone around North Korea after one of their aircraft came within 100 kilometers of one of North Korea's previous missile tests. Air France flights to Tokyo and Osaka are now taking between 10 to 30 minutes longer because they are trying to go around the North Korean test area. The probability of a civilian aircraft being hit is low, but the risk does exist. For one, North Korea tests without warning. And though it calibrates its tests so the missiles fly over the thinnest part of Japan, there is always a possibility of the missile going awry or disintegrating. Bureau Report, WION.